Buffett and Munger on Bitcoin. This is interesting to me. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of Warren Buffett. The guy he strikes me as someone had to be Warren Buffett for some reason. He was chosen to be the guy, if that makes sense. And anytime you see the idea of this old grandfatherly guy with his hamburger and his what is he, like a creamsicle? He's got something ain't right in there, man. In terms of his view of humanity, there's just something's not right. I don't know how else to put it. Just look at some of this his social justice causes, which he said he's going to quiet down on. Anyway, I don't like it. I don't. But anyway, I thought this was and on top of that, anytime you're dealing in this kind of bell curve, you're obviously going to have someone on the outer end of the bell curve. Like everyone says, wow, that's the guy. There's always going to be someone. There's always going to be a Warren Buffett. Now, did he get there by skill or by luck? We don't know. I would say by luck. There's always going to be that guy who's well beyond average, if that makes sense. There's always going to be that guy who's well below average. That's just the nature of the bell curve. You can't have everyone be Warren Buffett. You just can't. So is it because he's good, or is it because he got lucky? Or essentially because someone had to be that guy. I think it's the latter, that someone had to be that guy. But anyway, this was interesting what they said about Bitcoin, because I could not agree more. Just a month after Peter Thiel called Warren Buffett the enemy of, hold on a second. Life calls, you pick up the telephone. All right. So Peter Thiel called Buffett the enemy of Bitcoin and describing him as a sociopathic grandpa from Omaha. Jeez, man. Buffett doubled down on his outlook of the popular crypto at the annual shareholder meeting for Berkshire. Nobody wants their windpipe stepped on, and I don't blame them. I don't like to step on my windpipe, but I will say this. Buffett said, referring to Bitcoin as probably rat poison squared. Wow, rat poison squared. It's on. Peter Thiel and Buffett. Let's take a look at what Bitcoin is doing today. I haven't even checked the markets. I know I did at the gate, and they were way down. Hey, now we're up. All right, look at that. Yeah, the S&P was way down. Now it's up by a point, but we'll take it. Let's take a look at old Bitcoin, shall we? Bitcoin is at 38,000. So we see, I mean, all these people saying, what did Bitcoin do over the last 5 years or so? And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but that's not attractive. But I will, I'll give him credit. There it is. But, whatever. I just, people got to do what they got to do. I don't care. I just chuckle. Anyway, so, quote, if you said for 1% interest in all the farmland in the U.S., pay our group $25 billion. So Buffett's saying if he could buy 1% interest in all the farmland in the United States for $25 billion, I'll cut you a check this afternoon. For $25 billion, I now own 1% of the farmland. If you also tell me I'll own 1% of the apartment houses in the U.S. and you want another $25 billion, I'll write you a check. Now, if you told me that you own all of the Bitcoin in the world and offered it to me for $25, I would not take it because Bitcoin doesn't do anything. I'd have to sell it back to you or somebody else at some point. The apartments are going to produce rental and the farms are going to produce food. That explains the difference between productive and something that depends on the next guy paying you more than the last guy you got. It's called the greater fool theory. The greater fool. Who's going to be the greater fool? The person who owns the wet bag. There's no value there. That's the thing. And now you say, well, value is a currency. Bitcoin isn't a currency. It's just not. This is not a currency, man. That's simply not a currency. Look, and you can buy Bitcoin. I don't care. But let's not pretend that Bitcoin is going to replace the dollar as a currency. It just doesn't. It's crazy to think. Now, the only way Bitcoin creates value is if other people value it more than what you do, and thus you sell it. That's nothing wrong with that. It happens all the time. But there is no asset there. There's no value there. It's the greater fool theory. You could say, well, you could call it something different, not to be disparaging. I don't care. But it does nothing. It does nothing. That's what Buffett is saying. But it'll be Central African Republic just used Bitcoin as a currency. So okay. When okay, whatever. Look, and a lot of it's crazy to me. But anyway, let's keep going. Assets to have value have to deliver something to somebody, and there's only one currency that's accepted. You can come up with all kinds of things. We can put Berkshire coins out there. But in the end, this is money, he announced, holding up a dollar bill. Anyone who thinks that the United States government is going to change the way they let Berkshire money replace theirs, the United States government, is out of their mind. Whether it goes up or down the next year or 5 or 10, I don't know. But the one thing I'm pretty sure of is that it doesn't multiply, which is one of the arguments in favor of Bitcoin because it's not inflationary. I get it. But it doesn't produce anything. It's got a magic to it, and people have attached magic to lots of things. Again, it's not a currency. It's not a currency. It's not a store of value. You can say it's a store of value, like I would say stocks are a store of value. Stocks aren't a store of value either, man. That's not a store of value. A store of value is literally gold, because value has been proven historically to be exchanged for something higher than it is. Now you can say, well, that's not an asset either. No, it's not an asset, but it has a historic, tangible that has historically been proven to have value throughout the millennia. Where Bitcoin not. Now, could Bitcoin be the next thing? I highly suspect it won't be. It could be. But that's it. A store of value, gold. I've used this example a million times. I'll use it again. Had clients back in 2011, 12, something like that. A black guy in Florida, I think, or New York, I think, yeah. And going over his financial plan, and he had just tons of gold. I said, why you got so much gold, man? And I wasn't chastising him. I just wondered. He goes, oh, let me tell you the story. So his dad owned I can't remember what, Senegal, something like that, off the coast of Africa, Ivory Coast, I can't remember. Had some kind of manufacturing firm in Africa. It was a black guy. It's not Cecil Rhodes' descendant or something like that. And anyway, long story short, when the commies are coming, I can't remember what country it was. I just can't remember. They were basically shooting business owners and taking their property. And his dad said, we got to get out. The commies are coming. And they were able to only way they were able to get out wasn't with the currency of the day, it was with gold. To be able to get on a ship, basically a boat, to sail across the seas of cheese, and they ended up in Miami. That's what it was. And by then they moved their business to New York. I can't remember what they did. I forgot. I almost want to say dry cleaning, but I don't think that's what it was. I can't remember. But they're natural entrepreneurs, and they came to Miami. They got free, and they went to New York, and then and I think he was trying to move back south to Miami because New York was being incredibly confiscatory on their tax code. And I can't remember the whole thing, but I remember he was thinking about moving back to Florida, if memory serves. Real nice guy. He goes, dude, I'll always have a lot of gold because that saved our lives. You have any examples like that, Bitcoin? No, there isn't any. Again, that doesn't mean it can't happen. But gold at least has a historical context that you can actually hold as a store of value. Again, that doesn't mean it's going to keep up with inflation, but has always, I can't say will, has always been used to buy goods and services, 100%. All right, so Munger chimes in, and I don't like what Munger says. He's a little bit too brutal. But in my life, I try to avoid things that are stupid and evil and then make me look bad in comparison to somebody else. And Bitcoin does all three. In the first place, it's stupid because it's likely to go to zero. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any qualm with that. I wouldn't say it's stupid. You're speculating here, but I get that. It's evil because it undermines the Federal Reserve System that we desperately need to maintain in its integrity and government control. Now, see, this is just stupid, man. It's evil because it undermines the Federal Reserve System. Is it literally undermining the Federal Reserve System, Charlie? No. Come on, man. It's idiotic to say that. And I find it funny that undermining the Federal Reserve System that we desperately need to maintain its integrity and government control. Bah, yeah. Because the Federal Reserve System has so much integrity now. Let's just see, this is the thing. That's a freaking stupid thing to say, but yet there he is. Like, oh, there's so much integrity. And then he says government control. Nothing scary there, Charlie, which is one of the things I think these guys are the chosen to represent the cabal. And third, it makes us look foolish compared to the communist leader in China. He was smart enough to ban Bitcoin in China, and with all our presumed advantages in civilization, we are a lot dumber than the communist leader in China. And that's the ravings of a madman. It makes us look stupid relative to the communist leader in China. He banned it. So he wants us to ban it? See, this is idiotic. That's just, people have a right to freaking trade in, you freaking old man. Let's just see, this is a problem. You see the dichotomy here, and I'd even say the false dichotomy. Bitcoin is stupid, evil, and dumb. It makes us look dumb. No, the whole point is Bitcoin doesn't have any value, man. It doesn't produce anything. It's not a currency. That's the problem with Bitcoin. Not what Munger said. That's just idiotic. But if you want to gamble or trade and speculate in it, I got no problem with that. You can make the same arguments against gold, 100%. And I have gold. But I would say, well, gold historically has, and we're not just talking since 1926, we're talking thousands of years. Could that change? Absolutely could change. I don't suspect it will. Anyway, I thought you'd like that. We'll see you. Love your thoughts.